So I'm going to start by saying that we're going to start with something unexpected. I should have called my guests on stage, but absolutely independently they came on stage. So I'm just wondering whether I have to introduce them to you. Maybe they will do it themselves, but I will do it anyways. I was thinking about a presentation in alphabetical order, but I will follow my plan. So this is the second panel. For the afternoon, we're going to stay in a remote production environment, and we are going to talk about MotoGP. So the first on stage should have been Michele Fornasiero. I was the first Sky Italia, head of studio Sky Italia. Welcome, Michele. This is your home. Andrea Gianolli, CEO of One TV.
Andrea Picchioni.
And Andrea Picchioni, Sky Italia Technical Operations Supervisor. Giovanni Pippia, our international guest, Media Facility Senior Director of Dorna Sports. I'm sure I've said it correctly. And then MotoGP Director Carlo Pizzo. So, before going into our discussion, we have a fantastic video that will take us right into MotoGP.
Tutto è pronto per la partenza, dopo semaforo scatenate l'inferno. Prima dentro, gas a martello e andiamo. L'attacco di Bagnaia su Oliveira è entrato. Ha sbagliato, ha battezzato male la staccata. Nuvola rossa c'è e vince davanti a Vignales e a Valsecchi.
So straight into the debate. Thank you for the video. I hope you liked it. So I would like to come to you, Andrea Picchioni. I would like you to tell us what is remote production from Sky Italia in MotoGP. Maybe stop before the current season because there's going to be another contribution about that. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to this panel. It's a great opportunity to share views between colleagues for remote production in MotoGP. So how is it configured? We have a slide that is going to take us through this journey. So we have thought remote production as a modular production in terms of the editorial project and locations around the world. So we thought we would divide remote production in different timings, European and extra-European MotoGPs, and also situations of productions with a pre-race, race with interactive channel, and post-race. Now, the production here in Milan, Santa Giulia, can receive the signals coming from feeds that we can switch with USM panels and other multicasting signals coming directly from the central Dorna seat, which is in Barcelona, I think. Yes, it's in Barcelona. So just a quick list of the signals, switchable signals that could come from the venues. If we talk about RF for the interviews that are collected along the paddock and in the pit lane, the three studio comes with a mobile studio that is in every European race. Comward, these are cams that are produced by Dorna signals on site, ComCam for comments, and then there is also Bits Libero for the production of graphic content commented by our talent. Then, in the central seat of Dorna, there is a multicasting and the IPF signals of clean field and helicopter. So this, as you can see, this is the idea where we started from. We got up to 2022. This is because my colleagues are going to describe how we have actually developed the system. This was a starting idea. So what did this allow us to do? First of all, the project became much simple, much more streamlined, because by identifying the three production positions, pre-race, interactive channel and post-race, we were able to choose through VSM panels the on-site matrix in order to guarantee signals in Milan Santa Giulia that were necessary for the production, other than Dorna signals. Now, everything is sort of packaged with encoders and decoders in ultra-low latency, which guarantee an availability for the production. So we are basically eliminating latency, and this has always been a point we've been having to get beyond the remote production, because we wanted to have all the signals to Milano Santa Giulia, and we wanted to be able to switch according to the production we wanted to take in that moment. So we also had our director available who could decide whether to guide the matrix. So this reduced bandwidth consumption. When I mention bandwidth consumption, I'm talking about 50 megabyte from venues, and from IPF, from the Dorna headquarters, around 50. Now we've even gone down that figure. So basically we've been saving bandwidth to start with, and this brought us to be able to carry out with our project. So we could say that, let me say, the paradigm according to which remote production needs to transport all of the feeds from the venue to the production center, and therefore a significant bandwidth consumption. In this case, on screen, the 2 box is the best you can do, or that we can do. So you actually need 2 contemporary signals. If latencies are contained, you can get from one signal to another without physically occupying lines. Yes, exactly. So by dividing the project in this way, and especially the great possibility of having the production here in Milan Santa Giulia allows us to access means and resources that we could not access on site. For example, if there is an in-venue edit, here we can have 3 edits. So obviously we are exploiting at best the production center. Perfect. So this is the idea where we started. Then over the years, up to 2022. Now I would like to leave the floor to the colleagues to understand how, from the project, we have gotten to currently. Great. So I'm going to take your assist and pass the ball to your colleague at your left. Andrea Gianolli, can you tell us what you have been doing all together in 2023? You have 300 seconds. Milliseconds? Oh, seconds. Be happy with the seconds. What did we do in 2023? Well, we actually succeeded in a project that we started years ago on the possibility of implemented a whole series of services available in Santa Giulia. So RPO is a project that started for different needs in 2020 to be able to provide different opportunities to remote production, which is a huge encompassing word, but you have to connect it to the different needs that are not the same in all seasons. So in this case, RPO works from the coding and transport streaming system and takes into account precise objectives containing bandwidth consumption, safety of connection, and total latency of the round trip. And I will explain you what this is later. What we have done, we have made available to Sky a system that interfaces the proprietary devices, therefore the mixer video, so a control panel in Sky Santa Giulia with devices that are actually located in the racetracks. So we did an integration systems to integrate machines of different type that talk together. And Andrea was explaining that now we are working at 40 megabyte total bandwidth. We are transporting 10 signals, so it's 5 plus 5 feed that are used, and the average is 320, 380 milliseconds of latency from the racetracks. This is the last measurements we did, because we have a European condition and then we have an extra-European condition where, of course, the latency is due to more distance. You know, of course, Argentina, Texas had a slightly higher latency, but it's always less than a second. So this is important. So when the director pushes the button in Santa Giulia, the signals get to the other side and the signal is on air. So this is how we work. So we use the RPO system for this, which stems from the COVID problem in 2020 when the frontiers were closed, so we couldn't go and film the MotoGP there. We had to make up something. And so we started this system and we integrated it within the company, and we created a software department with specialized technicians in codec creation and platform streaming systems, because we merged different opportunities. The codec we are using at the moment is proprietary, and the +4 streaming is the merge of other systems of which we have used different libraries, and this gave us the results that we've been talking about. So very low latency, and the quality allows us to, in fact, have a great quality even in bandwidth that forces the system to work in a very, very quick way. I'm just interrupting you to understand something, sorry. So what you're saying is that with these machines installed, we are transferring 5 plus 5 signals. Well, there are not all signals, actually. We interface Santa Giulia Gallery with ours, so we make all the signals available with dynamic timeline systems. The request of the director is interpreted in a smart way on the other side. So in Santa Giulia, you have all the 112 signals that are available without feed, if you have the right to use them. I don't know if we have the right to use all these signals. Well, radio cams and everything that is a truck feed that we are managing on board, helicopters, there's no limitations. Carlo here can use whatever he wants. That's very clear. That's what he said. Well, we'll check the recordings after. Now, just following your conclusion, I would like to understand with Michele Fornasiero what happened and what was the challenge of all of this that he's been describing. So, what is working and what is going on in 2023? What happened from the studio side in terms of operation. Well, thank you for having me and giving me the opportunity to tell you about our project. So, just like my colleagues said, the main objective was to make the MotoGP production more sustainable and continuing the technological innovation process we had already started in studio. But what drove us was increasing customer experience for our clients. Like Andrea said, in 2022 we were already doing remote production for MotoGP. We did not make up anything like the previous panel said. We just simplified our life. So when our colleagues proposed the remote production organizer, we decided we wanted to integrate our automation system. So what did we do? We took these systems, we integrated them into our gallery, and so by checking the automation system with the RPO, we can manage them as active, and we can double the signals we have available. And what is even more important is that we all know that the MotoGP is a very dynamic production, you know, telling the story of the race is about fractions of seconds. So this organization, this process, allowed us to introduce the concept of these dynamics. So these lines that you see in blue, we can actually route all of the 25 signals, one signal that is available on the track, whatever signal that is available on the track. The good thing about this integration is that this system supports us, and when Carlo pushes a button to give a signal, the system automatically analyzes the lines, finds the free lines, and sends the signal on air, and this happens in fraction of seconds. This is an incredible support to the storytelling of the race. And then the most important part of this track, other than saving, was something that maybe Carlo can describe with his production team. Basically, you can increase the customer experience because you can tell about the production as if you were on site. So this was the idea, to improve the storytelling, because with remote production we do many races. So, correct me if I am wrong. When you described the gallery automation, are you saying that we customized a system that was made to manage a news gallery by formatting it and readapting it to a completely different product compared to the news, which is a MotoGP? Yes, we started using this type of automation on sports events because we have a lot of experience. We started with automation about 10 years ago at Sport 24, and in 2018 we started with the automation in Sky TG24 in a news channel, and our gallery is one of the most advanced in the sector. In 2021, we tried to do the shows connected to football with this automation system. And this year, we decided to apply this to MotoGP. I'm going to sort of steal it from the previous panel. This idea came from our people, and I would like to take advantage to thank all the teams from engineering, production and sports, because the idea came from the change of mindset of our teams, our boys, so to speak. because we, for environmental and economic needs, we are always going towards an increasing number of remote productions. So we are trying to tell the story in a better way, to enhance the product. So this is just one first step. The signals available can be completely numberless. So for the future, we want to increase the contents for our clients. Thank you, Michele. Carlo. So everyone's named you as a MotoGP director with a very strong background. You've done on-site, you've done remote production up to 2022, you've done the last step. Can you give us your ideas, your feedback? You take us into your production. Well, I started working with MotoGP when Sky earned the rights, so in 2014. So I have lived through the whole evolution. The first remote production that was illustrated by Andrea, where even with total efficiency we had only 3 switchable signals, so the operations that could be done were the same that I could do in the track box, etc., with a limit of 3 signals. And it is also true that this remote production came with the COVID, but this was not obviously something that we took a long time to analyze how many signals I need, how many do I put on air, how many do I record. So there was a lot of reasoning to streamline all of this. In 2023, we had a very important revolution. I got from 3 simultaneous signals on air to 9. So obviously, as you will understand, this is a great advantage. Why? Other than doing, a plethora of signals, 9 signals that are good for nothing, I can send some images on air. Other images can go into production and get on social media, even if they will never go live. So this is a good thing. So now I have understood we've got 120 signals. So, well, we should, relax a bit there, but another great revolution was the automation that Michele was describing, the Mozart system. Mozart stems for news, Sky News, but Sky was always at the forefront, started to use this for show as well, because Champions studios that were taken as a model by UEFA are done with the Mozart system. And now also with sport we are using this. So MotoGP is using Mozart. Now for me, other than the uncertainty at the beginning, because I will not hide the fact that when you have to change your way of working, you're always a bit uncertain. But the important thing is to keep going and try and understand what could we gain more. So with Mozart, I happily found out from the start that this is a customizable tool. So all my macro needs or my particular situations, I can quickly have everything available. For example, very obvious example. With a video mixer, if I'm trying to do a 2-box or a 3-box, I have to get it into the mixer. Video, I have to explain what I want. I have 11 now, but they are actually numberless. So I have to ask what 2-box I want, what signals must be sent out, and then get it on air. Now, the work you do with the operator is a forehand job, because the operator is using the computer with its touch and everything. I'm working on a keypad and I have a series of macros and signals that improve my job. So this is customization. So when I need a 2-box, and in the bad head of the director. You know, I know I need this, and I don't even want to tell the operator. I have to select this. I have a preview. The operators already know what signals must go on air. Less than a second, the toolbox is ready and on air, nearly without talking. Now, previously this wouldn't have been possible. So obviously it's a great step forwards.
Now, of course, all of this is customizable because, you know, I can use cams. I can also have my boxes, you know, with or without the predefined inlets. I can also have some other systems for the studio screens. We have a studio with a big screen and two small screens. Well, this is very easy if I do it. It's so quick. I have memories. I just have to recall, for example, one team or the number of racer, and this is an instant solution. So this is great. The Mozart speaks to all the rest. So in the control units, so everything can be let's say interconnected with Mozart. And in my opinion, this is a big advantage. Now, don't forget, behind this we have people, we have operators. In order to get this RPO, which is what we use today, well, a big effort was made by many people. Of course, so they don't fear the future, which is what Fabio said before. So if we work with this kind of mindset, I'm sure that there will be plenty of steps forward. When we started, talking about this, I mean, from the traditional, the automated system, I think that the big innovation this project was to, if you will, put together different talents, different personalities, and the only objective was to innovate and to do things in a better way. Because we've carried out the project in less than 2 months, just a test a couple of weeks before the first live. So we managed to get a great result. We have to really listen again to what Carlo said before. This is something that we used, let's say, to dream in the night just 6 months ago, but then it all just happened. So the director has really appreciated, I mean, the value added. But of course, okay, this is not a given, okay? It's something new, it's something special. Okay then, so Giovanni Pippia, may we have some extra color now? You are, let's say, our international guest. Can we get away from the sky-centric vision? Of course, talking about MotoGP. Can you tell us about the remote production for the other broadcasters? Because I know that you know them very well. And in terms of ETF in Dorna, what about the lodges they have? Are they starting working on remote production? Okay, you have 300 seconds, which is 5 minutes. Stefano, thank you so much. Really would like to thank Sky for having me here today. Now, point number one, broadcasters, you said. Well, currently, in the current system, so we have, the championship with, 20, events. So we have 6 broadcasters that have been working in remote systems. So all of them, you said all of them? Yes. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little less. Of course, there are different philosophies. The French people from Canal Plus, and then the UK, Italy, Germany. So there are differences. So again, there are different ways of working or doing production. This means that we have, more backup, a little bit less backup, so more or less people. Anyway, we can say that everyone is working with remote systems. So in terms of Dorna, so the MotoGP, the championship, we have the pleasure, but also the obligation to help them, to support them, and to give them the best possible product so that all of this can be done. So if you want to expand the range a little bit, so if I consider the so-called permanents, but also those just during the European season of the championship, so the temporary ones, I have to say that no one is producing from the track. I mean, there are no vans. This is a huge effort. I mean, logistics, technical difficulties, but this is what we need to help them. Once again, as for Dorna, well, I think, of course, because we have to help them, of course, we have to be in a more advanced situation. So remote production for us is not just at the beginning. I mean, let's say it's been with us since 2017, so it's 6 years. Of course, there's an evolution, a development year after year. And I have to say that most of the staff, I mean, directly dedicated to production, I'm sure that, the staff may be located in our headquarters from Barcelona, because from Barcelona we redistribute all the signals. Anyway, we're still going through the test bench phase on some topics, because it's fair to say that basically, we have two key reasons why we cannot, let's say, deliver a complete 100% remote production package. And one of these is connectivity. And of course, the previous colleagues pronounced this very important word, because, sometimes it may be difficult to have a gig in a stadium, which is in a metropolitan area. Well, just imagine how difficult it may be to work in the Phillip Islands. Now, to tell you the truth, we are being helped by our partner. This is one of your sponsors, Start, because they're really doing a great effort. So once again, I have to say that this is not, the Tata Communications difficulties, because they have an excellent network. Well, of course, they are, a great provider. This is what Andrea said before. You said something like 300 milliseconds in Argentina. Well, basically, many such milliseconds, came from the local, supplier, which was not ready, because sometimes, the racing track is something like 50 kilometers from the nearest city. So, of course, the telecom will never create a powerful infrastructure just to use it something like 2 times or 3 times a year. I also see another challenge, another technical challenge, which is the following. How can we... maybe Mr. Pizzo is not listening to me, but just kidding. Right now, we manage almost 300 signals in the racing track. Again, if we decided to do the international program feeds, EIPF, I can't tell you that, of course, we have to manage all of them, we have to redistribute every single signal. But today, I think that we should have at least 70, and then all of the others should be available or switchable in real time. Now, today, you can use a point-to-point fiber system, but you can also use a cloud-based system, which is something that everyone is speaking about, but no, not yet. I can't say that this is 100% reliable, so that the master product can be switched onto the system. Okay, maybe it's a little too early. So of course we are working for you. Let's say this is work in progress. Now on the IPF and Dorna side, I understand the process is here to stay for broadcasters. So yes, because if you don't need many signals, this is what we do from Barcelona. The support, the races, press conferences, everything is managed by or from Barcelona. Maybe the only limit today is the quantity of signals we have. Okay, Giovanni, this is it. Time is up. Let's see if there are questions. I had a personal question on the cloud, but Giovanni has just, answered the question before I asked it. I have a question, if I may. Please, Riccardo. You all talked about the integration. We talked about remote services. Anyway, we're talking about remote services. So we create centers something like 800 kilometers away, but these hubs have plenty of physical assets. Back to the cloud question, Giovanni. What do you think about a new remote system? So there will be an operating hub, but all the machines will be cloud-based. Maybe we will have video mixers, audio mixers. Do you think this will happen? Will it never happen? Will it happen just for small things? So once again, can I have some color about this? Okay, Michele, well, that was my question for Giovanni. And I'm sure that, yes, the cloud is the key word. I think the next step is the cloud, isn't it? Well, Riccardo, I think we already are in the cloud. We absolutely believe in the cloud-based services. And of course, we will outsource the cloud in the future. I mean, as soon as it is possible to have all the signals we need there and manage them right there. So today, we're working with our partners, so cloud partners, once again, Tata Communications, together with Grass Valley, which is our main partner. Because, of course, I think that, yes, we need some fine-tuning, okay? So we will be there soon, because we believe in this 100%. I think it's two different things. I think Riccardo meant, the motors, so to say, the engines, right? Okay, he was talking about, let's say, transport systems. I mean everything. I mean the entire infrastructure. I mean the entire gallery. The problem is that this kind of development is being slowed down because the engine systems in the cloud are not reliable enough. I mean, we can't believe in them. We can't really say that the master programs can be done 100% in the cloud. So I believe this is the future, but my personal assessment is that it's too early today. Fabio, you said you want to build, or you have to build a new hub. But if you only play once a week, maybe you just switch on the equipment once a week. MVP, this is fine. You can use it every single day. But if you are a league, this may be a great advantage, provided that it works. You're right, but it's a question of safety and opportunity. I mean, today, that's the journey, that's the future, if you will. Some processes from the video, the audio, and telecommunication signals, one part of this will be based on the cloud. It will be a blended, mixed system, not a local one. But today it's too early. It's it works, but it is not reliable enough to guarantee a perfect final product. There are some risks. May I? Now, as for the Serie B production, we have already started a complete cloud-based workflow with excellent results. Of course, I'm not talking about the 70 or even 300 signals. I'm just talking about 14 signals. Anyway, we have tested the complete workflow and it works very well. Of course, this is what we said before. And I think that, it's a perfect question because we have to deal with the human part that has to, let's say, to be interfaced with this new methodology. So it's fundamental to make a step forward, by all of the talents having to do with this methodology. There are some changes, there will be some, some tuning, well, actually some fine-tuning, some minor adjustments. But yes, it does exist, it is working, so we can count on it. Thank you. Have we answered your question now? This is a very clear signal. Okay then, so we now have a coffee break. This is it with our second panel. Okay then, so we'll see you in a few minutes for panel number 3. Thank you so much. Enjoy your coffee.